Good morning, good people, fellow humans. HUEMONDS, colorful nuts. It is Saturday, January 31st, 2026, about 6 o'clock in the morning, as we are usually here at this time. Righty, Saturday. Maticus von Atticus is with us this morning. Undersergeant Ordinaire of the 3rd Stalag 13 out at Fort Homestead. Fort Mia, how about that? Fort Mia. And here we are. So good tidings to fellow humans. And again, we spell that HUEMONDS, colorful nuts. Matt has done more than the required hours of service. Excellent, good. Today is Saturday, big day, last day of the month. And yeah. Okay, we are here to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life, where we have a soul based on the belief that the soul is transcendent. Bad news is that, well, I'm sure it'll count. I'm sure it will. So, next. What are we focused on today? In our short period of time, our theme of the memo of the day is the infinite tail. The infinite tail. Tail, T-A-I-L. The infinite tail, that's a long tail. The tale of the infinite tail. That would be an interesting one. How about that? Does that work? Can you still say that? The tale of the instant tail. The tale of the infinite tail. It's the tale of a tail. Told. Okay, so the infinite tail, that's going to be Seth Godin. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Advice from an 80-year-old. Can Maticus von Atticus use this advice? Live your life so that your epitaph could read, no regrets. No regrets. What is your legacy? What is your legacy? Ponder that. What is your legacy? What is your legacy? Okay, well, let's look at Seth Godin. The long tail was a profound cultural insight. When we created YouTube, Amazon, Rune, recipe websites, and Netflix, the culture changed. When you give people a choice, they make a choice. We went from the top 40 to millions of songs, from Blockbuster to every movie ever made, from the local bookstore to all the books all the time. Pick what you want instead of what other people pick. There are still hits, but the majority of what we consume are titles that weren't even available to us a few years ago. It's hard to believe that this was a breakthrough idea only 21 years ago. Now, with LLMs, it's all going to change again. large language models. That's because it doesn't matter how many cookbooks you own, Claude can invent a new recipe for you, one that's never been seen before. You can do this today. The tech works. Soon, it won't matter if you have 400 Grateful Dead albums. AI systems will be able to generate live recordings from 1974 that never happened. That's the second time I've heard that concept today. These are the things I've lived through that have never happened to me. And eventually, Netflix will generate TV shows that no one has ever seen for an audience of one. The generative long tail will go on and on and on. Most of the time, it'll denigrate into slop and banality. The humanity of the movies, books, and recordings it creates will fade, and we'll be left with mindless airport music. But that will evolve over time, and the arc will go in the other direction. Things that work, done more often. Combinations and evolving insights that move even faster than we can keep up with. Slop and magic, and in an eternal braid, a lot like the stuff humans have been producing for decades. Slop and magic in an eternal braid, a lot like the stuff humans have been producing for decades. A golden road to who knows where. So we're saying it's all changing. It used to be, here are the books we read in school that everybody has read for the last 50 years, and we all have a common things in common culture. We've all read Uncle Tom's Cabin, The Red Badge of Courage, The Raven, The Long Tail, since Edgar Allan Poe, etc., even back further than that. And now, though, because of AI, we can have instantaneous new stuff that no one's ever seen before. Where is it going? Someplace new, someplace interesting. Okay, cool. Put that coffee down. Coffee is for cobblers. No, cocoa's for cobblers. Coffee's for closers. Okay, the infinite tail. All right. Next on our hit parade, very important, TED Talk, Seth Godin. TED Talk, Viktor Frankl, The Gray. Yes, the link to it is in the worksheet down below. Please click on the bell, save, share, you know the thing. Okay, so this is the end of week 1. Not quite the end. This is day 6 of week 1 of day 1 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. And we're trying to answer 2 questions. Who am I? Why do I behave the way I do? Today, day 6, we're looking at The Gray, a gritty survival movie, and starring Liam Neeson. It's a story of a guy that worked for an oil company, and his job was to kill wolves that were threatening people, kill wolves around the oil fields or whatever. And his life sucked. He had no reason to live. His wife died from cancer or something. The movie opens with him about ready to blow his brains out. And a wolf howls, pulls him back to it, goes in the bar, the cantina at the place. Next morning, they fly out on their way for whatever amount of time of R&R. Plane crashes. A small group of men have to try to make their way somewhere, and unfortunately they disturb a pack of wolves that hunts them down and kills them one by one until the only one left is Liam Neeson, Arthway. The producers of this video do a great job tying it to Viktor Frankl, one of Viktor Frankl's things of why do people find meaning when there is no purpose in your life? How do you keep going? How do you find meaning when there is no meaning? How do you keep going? So he uses the gray as that. So you have this guy who wants to kill himself, but he doesn't. He just keeps going. And then him and a small group of guys are getting hunted down by wolves. And he keeps going. He's the last guy. So the guy who doesn't care about his life is the last guy. And at one point near the end, when he's by himself, trudging along, he's going through a river, trying to get away from the wolves. There's probably one last remaining wolf chasing him. He looks up and he says, "Come on, show me something. If you're real, show me something. Give me a sign." Reaching out for something to believe in. Waiting. So this is the moment. He's waiting for the epiphany to be saved. Everything is in it. Show me a sign. Give me something to believe in. And he's met with silence. Thus, quoting the memorable line from the movie, "Fuck it, I'll do it myself." And he keeps going. So Viktor Frankl in his book talks about how do we find meaning in a hopeless situation, like being in a Nazi concentration camp where they're pretty good at killing people. How do you find meaning in that? The only way you're going to get out alive is what? If the Nazis lose. That's the only way you're going to get out. So you got to hope for the end of the war. And maybe there was some hope, but the inmates probably were not shown that. It was kept hidden from them. Maybe they knew. But so when you're in that situation, Nazi concentration camp, you have no expectation of coming out alive. How do you keep going? Viktor Frankl, a psychologist or psychiatrist, was probably the ideal guy to experience that from the inside as a professional of that. So his book, Man's Search for Meaning, or his most famous book for people, Man's Search for Meaning, delves into that. And I think the key takeaway is this concept of what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? And for Viktor Frankl, that is the wrong question. You're asking the wrong question. You don't ask, what is the meaning of life? We don't get to ask that question. What is the meaning of life? That's not the question we are to be asking. That's the question we're to be answering. We don't ask, what is the meaning of life? We don't ask life. We don't ask, what's the meaning of life? We don't do, that's not the right formulation. That's not the right structure of the question. It is backwards. The right question is, what is the meaning of your life? Or life asks me, what's the meaning of your life? And we have to answer that question. We're called to answer it, not to say, I don't know, Jesus? No. We are pushed to recognize that what we do is the monument of our existence. Okay. Since it is, since this is G.school, we'll take this out for a second. This is the Ruling Huntsman edited version, not edited, reviewed edition. What did Jesus actually say? Let me talk about that for a minute. So this is Why Thoughtful People Left and How to Find Your Way Back. So how does that tie in with Viktor Frankl's question of life, asking us what is the meaning of your life? And here would be an answer to that, according to Jesus. 1, love God with all your heart and mind and soul. 2, love one another as I have loved you. And make disciples of all nations. Go out, make disciples. Make disciples of all nations. Where can I put this? I'll put it over here. Let's break it down. What is the meaning of your life? We don't ask life, what is the meaning of life? Life asks us, what is the meaning of your life? And we have to answer it. So let's deconstruct that for a second. We've got a couple of minutes left. Meaning, what is meaning? Meaning here, meaning is to act such that everything you do matters. Everything you do matters. So what is the meaning of your life? What do you do in your life that matters? What matters? So for Viktor Frankl, it was doing things or making things that are beautiful. Could be relationships, could be physical things, could be bringing beauty into the world or doing things. Meaning, act such, for our purposes, act such that everything you do matters. Good, okay? And here we also add on meaning and purpose. Purpose is service to others. What are you doing that matters in service to others? So would that fit the Viktor Frankl requirement of answering the question of what is the meaning of your life? What do you do that matters in service to other people? I pray, I read the Bible every day. What do you do that matters in service to other people? I think good thoughts about people, those sons of bitches, those greedy pigs. I tolerate them. No, no, that doesn't count either. What do you do that matters in service to other people? Are you out there like Frank Esposito delivering water, an 85-year-old guy hauling around a ton of water, all of these jerry-rigged 5-gallon bottles of water, 2 tanks, dragging them along with food to the homeless people out there? Are you doing that? Are you like Frank Esposito, that on Fridays you go out with bags of garbage with a different trailer, and the people put their garbage bags on the back of your trailer and you take it to the dump as an 85-year-old guy trudging on your own if necessary? Do you do that? Are you like the guys at Lord's Treasure, delivering and picking up stuff for people? Are you doing that? What are you doing that matters? What are you doing that matters to make other people's lives better? I go to church on Sunday or Saturday. I think good thoughts. I smile at people. I give advice to the homeless people or the people less fortunate to me. I pray for them. That's what I do. That's what gives my life meaning. I pray for the people whose life sucks. But I got to make sure my life doesn't suck first. And with that, we're going to say, and cut, people, and cut. Do more. Magic.